loves, welcome back to another video here on Starseed Academy. My name is Jenny and I'm so happy to have you back for a video on this channel. Today I want to talk with you about New Age cults. These are things that are extremely prominent, meaning you will have seen these in your social media journeys for certain, okay? And I want to be really clear about where the basis of these cult teachings come from and how harmful they can be, but really just help you to identify them, because I guarantee that you've already seen them and hopefully you're not buying into them, but they can be really tricky, okay? So these are things that are going to only lead you into fear frequency. They're only going to lead you into separation energy, that division. It's the opposite of unity consciousness. It's the opposite of that 5D Christ consciousness. It is very much like fear and paranoia. Okay, so let's dive in. And I think maybe we'll be able to have some laughs along the way, hopefully with some of this content as well. Okay, so quickly though, before I jump into the video, I really want to let you guys know that I am 50% sold out inside of my brand new course, Starseed Weaver of Light. This is a multi-dimensional healing course specifically geared to starseeds, okay? Because starseeds can't heal in like a limited way. Like, we've all been there. You take the Reiki course or whatever kind of course, and it's like you have to have certain hand placements, say all these prayers, spin around 3 times, whatever it is. It's just not going to work for me. I need freedom, and I need to be able to base my healing on my own intuition and psychic gifts, and that is exactly what I'm teaching inside of this course. It's extremely advanced stuff. So we'll be doing things like crystalline DNA activations, light language coding, soul retrievals, entity removals. That's just like a reality for the people that are traversing the astral realms. We need that. You need to know how to do that, as well as system upgrades, akashic healings, witch wounds, inner child. We're just going fully in. I really can't even like list everything that we're going to be learning to do. It's so involved, this course. But I do want to say it's not just for advanced healers. In fact, it's for healers that are ready to move into that, right? Like maybe you know that you're an energy healer, or you've taken some Reiki healing or some quantum healing or some cranial sacral or some kind of a course where you're just like, this just isn't quite it, but I know that I'm a healer and I'm searching for that feeling. And the thing is, that feeling is your own sacred method, right? Like you have a sacred method inside of you that wants to be unleashed. I have a sacred method. And so what I'm doing inside this course is I'm giving you the foundational pieces to these advanced techniques, and then you're going to be able to put them together in your own way that feels like your own sacred method. And of course, I'm going to be including at the beginning of the course some foundational pieces so that if you are a beginner, that you'll be really, really comfortable inside this course. I already have, like I said, it's 50% sold out. I already have like professional healers in there, but I also have beginners in there. So please don't think like it's not for you. It's absolutely going to be tailored to work for the starseed, the multidimensional soul, okay? Because at the beginning of the course, I'm going to be training people in the foundations of the clairs: clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance, the language of the clairs. Because if you can learn how to see, hear, feel, know what spirit is sending to you for your client, it's going to take your healing up. You're going to be like an advanced healer with that knowledge. And then I'm going to teach you those techniques I told you about, like the crystalline upgrades, the entity removals, the light language coding, the akashic healing, teaching you how to do those really beautiful, very needed things on top of the intuition. We're just going to sandwich all that together, and you're going to be healing intuitively, spontaneously, psychically. Cannot say enough about this course. And like I said, it's 50% sold out. So there is, I think, only 5 spots left. It's also certified. So you leave with a certification that opens you up as the go-to healer for millions of souls searching for a healer like you, right? Because the starseeds, they want these kinds of healers. That's what they need. They need these special advanced techniques. They need the entity removals. They need the light language coding. They're ready for that, and they need that. And there isn't a lot of that. And so you're going to be certified at the end of this 4-month course to expand your business or build your empire if you haven't started yet. It's just going to be so powerful. So if you are interested, I will make sure to put the link I'm going to remind myself right now, maybe write it down, because I've probably said in here a million times, I'm going to put the link below. And does she do it, folks? Probably not. So I'm putting right now Weaver link Oh, if I didn't say the name of the course, it's called Starseed Weaver of Light. Okay, we're weaving light. Beautiful. Let's move on to New Age cults. So I don't even know which one I want to start with. I've got three that I'm going to cover here. They're all juicy. So let me just think about which one I want to start with. You know what? I'm really want to talk about the 144,000 thing, but I'm going to leave it. I'm going to talk about it next. The first one is I really want to cover the whole 5D thing. And the reason why is because it just keeps getting more and more ridiculous, okay? I literally see, as I'm scrolling Instagram, I see the most ridiculous things, and you look at the account and they have like 50,000 people, 100,000 people, a million followers. All of these huge accounts are saying the most like harmful, culty beliefs and spreading them like truths, and these are just straight up lies. Okay, so here's an immediate red flag is if a spiritual teacher says that you have to travel through a portal to get to 5D. Like, what does that sound like to you? You know, you have to travel through a portal to get to 5D. Like, you have to, and I'm sure then they're going to want to take you through the portal, right? Like, come on my retreat or take this special course or I can show you how. But this is the way, this is the only way to 5D. And I've heard a lot of people getting really deep into the paranoia or the fear frequency, like, well, if your friends and family don't make it, you're going to have to leave them behind. And or a spaceship is going to come and pick us up and take us to the 5D planet, and we're going to go through this portal, and then it's going to be a different Earth than the one that you're on now, right? So that's all very cult-like. There are a lot of actual cults or religions that say things like that. Now, I just want to preface this whole video. I should have said this at the beginning. I was raised in a cult, okay? Literally. Like, I'm not being dramatic. It was not a new age cult. So I can see the similarities here. I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness, which is 1000% a cult. I don't care what you've heard about it. I lived it. It was extremely harmful and filled with religious abuse and trauma. Okay. And the cult-like belief structures that kept people in line was if you can't rule someone through shame, like by shaming them and making them feel like they're not good enough, undeserving, shame them, then you roll them through fear. And so it was always shame or fear, shame or fear. And so I see this now happening in this new age, right? And so the 5D fear is like that basically, if you don't do certain things or follow my exact framework or come with me to this portal retreat, you're not going to make it to 5D. And then too bad for you, like the doors close or something, like there's some kind of a time expiration on 5D. And so if you've heard that, if you've heard anything like you have to go through a portal or we're all going to be lifted up and then plop down onto a different Earth called 5D, but we're going to leave this one behind. Or maybe the opposite, the people that don't make it to 5D are going to get taken off of this planet and put somewhere else. That's all culty behavior. It's giving cult and it's harmful. Okay, so the truth is 5D is not a place outside yourself. It's not a place outside of yourself. It is a measurement of growth that you arrive to within. When you become 5D, it means that you're now vibrating at a minimum of 500 hertz, which is the love frequency, and you've done the inner work. So you're now viewing others and the world through a lens of compassion. Okay, so that's like how you become 5D. When you live in 5D, it just means that you've raised your frequency enough and you are now creating your reality, which is your timeline, through that love frequency. So if you become 5D and you raise your set point frequency from neutral or from anxiety or from something really deep and low, if you raise your set point up to love, where that's your natural state, we all are going to have ups and downs, but naturally you return back to love and compassion pretty easily. You're 5D. Okay. How do you live in 5D? Well, you just become it because every single one of us is creating our own reality, right? Your timeline is projected from your heart to a reality around you. It's very much like a movie theater. So your reality is the movie screen on the outside, but what's being projected onto it is coming from inside of you. And so your reality can't be changed from the outside. You can't walk up to a movie screen and like touch anything or change anything. You have to go within to the projector room, which is your heart, and change it there. So 1000% guarantee that everything that's showing up in your life is somehow a projection that you're creating. Okay. And sometimes we create from traumas and wounds and lack mentality, and it creates things that we don't really like. But then all we have to do is shift the vibration within, shift the frequency within up to at least 500, and the outside world changes. So we all create our own realities from our inner frequency set point. So that's how you live in 5D, is you just become it. So how does the earth become 5D? How do we create new earth? It means that the 5D awakened community, so all the people that have done that work and are now in that frequency, are creating a collective timeline together, because collective timelines are created through collaborations of people with similar frequencies, similar beliefs and morals, and a same, like a matching desired vision for the future. And so New Earth will eventually become worldwide. As we move deeper into the ascension of humanity, it's going to become for everybody, right? But for now, it's just living in pockets around the world where it's bloomed in people's hearts because they've done that inner work. So it's like a higher perspective way of living, and it's seeing through the eyes of the soul. That's truly what it is. It's where you're viewing others and your reality through the eyes of the soul, seeing that deep down we're all the same and that we all deserve to be loved and accepted. And if we all, that's like the golden rule, right? Where you start treating people the way that you want to be treated because you realize that they are aspects of you. We're all aspects of the one soul. So that is how New Earth will come to be, with more and more people raising their own frequency to 500 hertz or higher. Let's say even go higher. Why not? Get to 60, which is possible. And then the more people that do that, the larger the 5D collective of people becomes, and then it just slowly grows and grows until it takes over worldwide. Not a negative takeover, just a natural growth, just a natural wave of awakening, right? So New Earth is being built right here on this planet by us, like right here on Gaia, by us. And it's not some other planet where everything's already this high vibing, like 5D roses and sunshine. It's ready, it's already like formed, and we just have to be dropped onto it. That's not it. We are going to build it together, right? So we're building it already, one person at a time that arises into this. And that is why, like in all of the prophecies and all the things, they talk about how there has to be like a crumbling of the old system, which doesn't have to be scary and like literal rubble on the ground. It just means we have to decide we're no longer going to be doing politics this way, or healthcare with big pharma, or this or that. And enough people making that decision will change it. And we're on the way to that. You can see that I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, like this year's been so hard. It totally has. However, you can see that the ascension is well underway because people are purging, which is an ascension symptom, and the collective is purging, which is the main ascension symptom. Purging darkness. So all of these dark agendas and all this nonsense and all this corruption is coming to light. That's a purge. And you personally will purge as well in your own life things that are no longer supporting a higher frequency, like toxic friendships, jobs that aren't good for you, habits that aren't healthy. You're going to purge all that, and it's hard. And the collective is purging a lot, and it's hard, right? But that's an ascension symptom. And you can see so much in 2024 from the beginning till now, that the level of self-awareness is getting so much higher for people, and for the collective of humanity as well. Another huge ascension symptom. So it's absolutely happening. To sum up on this first one, we're not going anywhere. You can't travel to 5D or New Earth. You become it. And it is so unbelievable to me how many spiritual teachers with these huge accounts, book deals, Gaia TV specials, and millions of followers do not understand this very basic truth. They would have you searching outside of yourself, investing in their retreats so that they can take you through some kind of 5D Stargate, preparing you to leave your planet and your family behind. Like, it's giving cult, it's harmful. That should be obvious that that's a cult. Like, that is an absolute, it should be so obvious to you. I hope that you can see that now. It's ridiculous. Okay. It's ridiculous. You're not going anywhere. There's no other planet. Gaia is ready to ascend with us. She is leading the ascension, actually. Okay. All right. So Gaia is going to be 5D new Earth, not some other planet. Let's move on. I have two more juicy ones, so don't go anywhere. This is one of my personal favorites right here. This is my personal favorite eye roll, the 144,000. Okay. So first of all, hold on. Let's back up 1 second. I wanna compare things to my literal experience in a cult. So I'm not even afraid to do this right now. And I feel like, ooh, the comment section. No, it's okay, Jenny. It's okay. It's okay. I have to speak my truth, right? So just dialing it back 1 second, back to the 5D not being another planet. In my, childhood cult, they literally said that there would be like a paradise on Earth, and that there had to be some kind of an Armageddon where all of the people that were not, in this case, like 5D, all the people that were not in this special divine place within, would be like killed off in a battle between, like, from heaven. Like Armageddon is basically like the angels are going to come down and destroy everybody and all the buildings, and there was going to be just a terrible destruction, rubble on the ground, buildings everywhere, and then only the ones that God loved or remembered were going to make it into this new Earth, this paradise on Earth. And so whenever I see people like talking about New Earth in a way that creates fear frequency and paranoia and separation between families and that kind of stuff, it just brings me right back to that cult. And I remember the images in the books that they would show us, and like if somebody wasn't a Jehovah's Witness, then they were going to die in Armageddon, and that's what it was. It was like very black and white. So your sister, your aunt, your whatever, and you just had to like accept that, apparently. So it's just very, very similar. So let's talk about how the 144,000 is also similar. So let's start with that. So in many religions, including the one that I grew up in, and again, it was not a religion, it was like very much a cult, because I think that there's a difference when you get into extremism and fanaticism that you can call it a cult. So in the Jehovah's Witness cult, the 144,000 represented the ones that were favored by God. So it was a very limited amount of people that could go to heaven. Okay, so 144,000 humans were going to be chosen by God to go to heaven, and that was it. And the rest of the humans were going to have to just be satisfied with being allowed to survive Armageddon and live in the earth, which is supposed to be like a paradise on earth. 144,000 only. How has this made its way, this cult belief made its way into New Age? How did it go from a religious cult to New Age? You've seen it. There's only 144. These are not truths. Okay, these are ridiculous beliefs. There's only 144,000 starseeds that are here to be saviors, or there's only 144,000 twin flames that are here to lead the world into some kind of like a new age, or there's only 144,000 like light warriors. Like, choose the language. It really doesn't matter. It's all the same cult belief, which is that number always coming up of 144,000. I've even seen people creating content around 144,000 DNA strands. It's like, calm down, calm down. Let's dive into the truth of 144,000. Where did this come from? And what does it actually say and mean? Because I'm going to tell you right now, I've read the Bible cover to cover twice. Okay. I mean, I had to because of the way that I grew up, but I still did it. And I can absolutely share with you something that's going to really blow your mind. So first of all, first things first, yes, it comes from the Bible. The 144,000 comes from the Bible. New Age did not just make this up. It came from the Bible. Okay. So that's the very first place you're going to see this number. So what it's supposed to, in the Bible, here's how they got to that number. Let's math this out, okay? Let's get the math going here for what created 144,000, because it wasn't just a number plucked out of nowhere, dropped in the Bible. It truly is like a math equation that's supposed to represent like divine numbers. So the way that this is broken down is they're talking about the people that are anointed or sealed by God, okay? And that's that's the 144,000. But it's about 12 tribes of Israel, okay? And then within these 12 tribes, there are 12,000 sealed or anointed people. And then, okay, so 12 tribes times 12,000 people in each tribe. And that's 144,000. 12 times 12,000. So where does the 12,000 come? So 12 tribes over here. I wish I had like a little math equation pen for you. 12 tribes. The 12,000 people is supposed to represent 12 times 1,000. So 12 again representing the tribes, and then 1,000, which represents in the Bible a vast amount of people. And they use that number a lot throughout the Bible, thousands or 1,000. It's a symbolic number. And you'll see because you don't take my word from it, we're going straight to the Bible for this. Yes, pull out your Bibles, get them out, dust them off, let's go. Never thought I'd be quoting scripture on this channel, but we're fully going into it because I want to show you that the proof is right there, okay? If you read it carefully, the proof is right there, but people don't do that. They just grab something and they run with it and they distort it, and that's how we get cults. So 12 tribes of Israel, and 12,000 people in each tribe equals 144,000. The 12 tribes of Israel, how do they get that number? Well, there was 12 tribes of Israel. And then the 12,000 people is 12 to represent the 12 tribes times vast amount of people, which their number was 1,000. Okay, so 12 times 12,000. Okay, 144,000. Let's go to Revelations. We are doing 7 verse 4. Okay, let me give you a moment. I'm like picturing you like getting your Bible up. 7 verse 4, Google it. Let's go. 7 verse 4 of Revelation says, Then I heard the number of those who were sealed, 144,000 from all of the tribes of Israel. From the tribe of Judah, 12,000 were sealed. From the tribe of Reuben, 12,000 were sealed. From the tribe of Gad. And we are going to go down 12 tribes, okay, all the way down to Joseph, Benjamin, tribe of Benjamin, 12,000. Okay, so for all of these tribes, 12,000 peoples, which is a symbolic number. There were 12 tribes of Israel, though, and that's where people believe humanity all comes from our ancient civilizations of our ancient ancestors, okay? So now here's what I really want you to pay attention to, okay? Because this 144,000 number is symbolic to represent that God guarantees all who desire to be saved will be saved. So really listen to this. Now we're going to Revelations. We were at 7 verse 4. We're going to Revelations 7 verse 9. Okay. And it says, and this is right after they list the tribes, same person, same story, same paragraph even. Okay. It says, after this, I think this is John talking. Okay. Yeah. In the Bible, Revelation 7 verse 9. After this, all the tribes with their 12,000 each, I looked, and there before me was a great multitude that no one could count, from every nation, tribe, people, and language, standing before the throne and before the Lamb. They were wearing white robes and were holding palm branches in their hands. So notice that it says a great multitude, so great that no one could count them. So there are no restrictions on the love of God or on his power to save anyone who repents or wants to be saved or whatever we want to believe. Okay, so you tell me if you think that 144,000 is a literal specific number, or if that 12,000 from this 12th tribe, 12,000 from this, and then it equaled a great multitude that no one could count, right? So, and again, keep what resonates because I'm visualizing the comment section. So I want you to take what resonates and then just leave what doesn't. I'm not trying to convert you because I don't own a cult and I don't care. I just want to help the people that could potentially be thrown by this teaching. Just like with the 5D creating paranoia and fear, like, oh my God, like I've gotten messages from people like, oh my God, what do I do if my family doesn't make it to 5D? Like, should I not go? Like, it's holding them back, right? Well, let me just tell you right now that there are not 144,000 twin flames. and that means that if you are one, now you get to feel special, like ego, like, oh, I'm one of the 144,000. That was my childhood. They literally said that to me. Like, in the Jehovah's Witness cult, 144,000 were so special and so anointed by God that they were the only ones that could like drink the special little wine and eat the bread at the oh my God, I'm taking myself back. When we did the Jesus Christ thing at Easter, whatever it's called, and we like honor his death by passing around the bread and the wine. If you were a part of the 144,000, you could partake. But if you were not, you just pass it along. Okay. And like 144,000 are the ones that were going to go to heaven. And if you were not one of them, you were not going. And it was as black and white as that. And I remember saying to my dad as a little girl, but dad, like, I want to go to heaven. I don't want to stay on earth. Like, I don't want to live forever in like a paradise on earth. Like, that's not what I want. I'm not from here, little starseed me. I literally said, like, I'm not from here. Like, I want to go back to heaven. That's home to me. And he was so mad at me. He said, that's your ego. How dare you? How dare you like besmudge the group of the 144,000? How dare you think that you could ever be a part of that? Because there's this lofty humans placed on these pedestals, and they were the only ones allowed to create the rules and write the literature and eat the little breads that I wanted to eat. I knew I belonged in heaven, and now I know why. But I'm just saying, like, if somebody is saying to you online that there's only 144,000 star seeds or light warriors or saviors or twin flames, they probably think they're one of them, or they would not be saying that. And that's just an ego trip and a half. Like, there are millions of star seeds and awakening souls, and we are all a part of the ground crew that is supporting this 5D new earth wavelength. So like, how dare you? Like, get your head out of your ass and get yourself out of your Bible, basically. And even though probably like none of those people are actually even reading the Bible, but I have cover to cover twice. I know what's in there, and I know it's not literal. Okay. Most of the Bible is not literal. Okay. So we can just see what religion does with stuff that's in the Bible, and we know that it takes advantage. Oh, 144,000. Let me take advantage and say I am one, and you and my best friends are all one, and we'll start this religion, which is a cult, and we get to be like the ones that get everything, like the leaders that get it all, like maybe money or power or whatever they get, all the priesty elders or whatever. And I'm just not for it, okay? I'm not for it. And I really see where both of those things we've talked about now, that this whole 5D portal and this whole 144,000 is an ego trip. It is causing fear, paranoia, separation, and it's not even true. If you're going to pluck things from religious cults to suit your new age needs, we have a problem. Okay, we have a problem. Let's move on. I need to calm down. Let's move on to the third one. I'm just so passionate about this because I have roots in this trauma. Like, I understand what it feels like to be brainwashed. And then, do you know how many years it takes to unbrainwash yourself? Like, at least as many of years as you were in it, if not, like, I don't. It's just so long. It's so long. It's not easy. So it's so harmful, and it really hurts people, and it separates people, and it serves always the ego. Okay, the third one, people. This is again, like, I'm really surprised that people that I used to love are spewing this fear. People are now saying that our ascension is at risk. Okay, and you might know who I'm referring to, but I just can't drop names because it doesn't feel right. But people that I used to like follow and really like trust and really like enjoy their YouTube channel and their content and all this stuff. And it's not just one person. Like, a lot of people are now saying like, there's malevolent beings at our doorstep, and they're going to try to stop the ascension. And if we don't do da 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 da, humanity's gonna die. I don't like humanity's an experiment. And if we don't get our act together, then we're all going to go extinct, or the planet's going to blow up, or whatever the trendy thing is. Basically, the cult belief here is that the ascension is at risk. it's a question mark. I don't know now. We don't know. It may not even happen. That is so harmful and not true. And I'm going to prove to you why it's not true in a second. But let me just say how that's harmful. Can you see how that would make people that might be suicidal give up? Like, do you even think about the weight of your words on someone who's teetering on the edge and feeling like the starseed loneliness? This isn't my planet. These aren't my people. I don't want to be here at all. Oh, the ascension not happening. Well, then I'm out. Like, you don't understand the level of damage. And I have worked with people. I have, I so passionate about this. I have had so many people keep me up all night, worried about them, reaching out every hour or whatever, like trying to talk them off the ledge of something like that. It's not okay. You know, I've had so many people, specifically someone when that exact video came out not that long ago from this spiritual leader, I specifically had someone message me so freaking worried. Oh my God, like so and so is saying that our ascension is at risk, and there's malevolent beings that they've just shown up in our galaxy, and they're looking at Earth, and they're gonna come down here and they're gonna ruin everything. We've done all this work, like what are we gonna do? Can you tune in? And I'm like, on it, on it. And that's why I've already done a video about this. Is the 5D, is our ascension at risk? And you can watch that video for some of this. Anyway, long story short, that is culty behavior to try to create fear in people, is straight up religious trauma, new age cult trauma. It's just not true, because you need to be able to connect with like a higher being, a higher dimensional being, to get the truth, if that's what you think is really going on. Because if you zoom out to like the ascended master realm or the angelic realm, or talk to God source, that is not the message that you will receive ever. In fact, if you're ever channeling messages that are filled with fear frequency, you are not channeling a divine being. Channeling is dangerous if you don't do it right. I think you guys know that. And that's why I'm all about sacred space, sacred space. I won't do shit without a sacred space. Like, I will not even connect. I won't do a card reading. I won't play with my pendulum. I won't play with my divining rods if I don't have a sacred space. Because a sacred space is like ascended archangels surrounding you, right? You can use ascended masters. I use archangels to surround me, to help me to raise my frequency up. Then I have Archangel Michael placing a blue light over top of me, like a bubble that acts like a filter to my highest good. Then I connect into very deeply into my crown, God source white light. And I say specifically, anchor me in divine truth, anchor me in the divine timing and orchestration. Let everything that I channel be true and not from my own patterns or programming or my own ego. Let it be true. And you just have to be so powerful in that intention. And I can connect directly to God or to the ascended master realm or to the angelic realm, like anywhere in there. And those are not the messages that you would ever receive from a divine being, that the ascension is at risk, that this, that. Are there malevolent beings out there? Of course there are. We live in a multidimensional universe. There are beings of light that would support you. There are neutral beings that don't give a shit, like grays. They don't care either way. And then there are lower beings that would absolutely take advantage. But our ascension is not at risk. And here's the reason why. Earth is a school. Gaia is a school. And she is on a rotating precession cycle. These are terms you can research, okay? Scientifically research this. A precession cycle is a cycle that Gaia takes from the golden era at the top, and then she descends down, and we get into the dark ages, like think medieval, witch hunts, shit. And then we ascend back up into the golden era, think Lemuria, right? So our last golden era was exactly that, Lemuria. We descended down, Atlantis, starting to get icky. Ancient Egypt, some big problems happening there, down into like biblical, then medieval, the witch hunts and all that. And then we're spiraling back up into our next golden era, which we don't know, have a name for it yet because it hasn't happened yet, right? It's a cycle. Okay. So Gaia will never stop in, oh, I'm just going to stick in a golden era from now on. So also you shouldn't think that once we get to the golden era, we're good forever. Golden ages last about 2,000 years. That's it. And then she keeps on the move because she's a school and it's not meant to stay in one spot. So here's the things that you can research to prove this to yourself. The precession cycle, you will see the precession cycle of Earth, the photon belt of light. Okay, and that is a photon belt of light around the star Alcyone, Alcyone, and that's a star in the Pleiadian cluster. Our solar system, so our sun and our Earth, and that little string of planets, our solar system moves in this orbit, and a full cycle is about 24,000 years. Every 24,000 years, there's this golden era, which is when we move into the photon belt of light around the star Alcyone. When we move into the photon belt of light, everything changes. Okay. And our sun changes because the sun goes in there too. It's our whole solar system. So the frequency of the light in the sun and the quotient of light and that it's able to hold and all of that changes. And also in Earth, and our planet Gaia herself, and the nature kingdom, the animal kingdom, and humanity. Everything changes and evolves. Now, just moving into the photon belt of light, which many scientists believe started around 2012, which makes sense with the Mayan calendar. Just moving into that started our Great Purge, which we are still pretty much undergoing a lot of. Which is an ascension symptom. I think I already talked about that in this video. So there's a lot of purging happening. As we move deeper and deeper into the photon belts of light, we'll move into different stages of ascension. Nobody's getting left behind. It can't be stopped. Who's going to stop a solar system's orbit? There's no malevolent being that could stop a solar system's orbit. That's not going to happen. It cannot be stopped. You do not have to travel somewhere else to experience this. Gaia is going through it. We are going through it. Even our animals and plants are going to go through it. So we're moving deeper into a photon belt of light, which is so powerful in its light particles, in its frequency, that it will physically, emotionally, spiritually, and energetically evolve everything. Gradually, we have to do this gradually or we would all die. It has to be gradual. But because it also changes the sun, just a little thought here, it also changes the potency of solar flares. So if you see a lot of people being like, oh my God, solar flares are off the charts. It's never been like this before. Yeah, it was 24,000 years ago when we were going into another golden era, right? So it changes the sun and it makes those solar flares extra potent and extra evolutionary. And scientifically, you can also research that it's been proven that solar flares are actually what create evolution, like changing of DNA in plants and animals and humans. It's solar flares evolve things. So put the sun into a photon belt of light and Gaia and see what happens. That's how golden eras happen. So you can research all of this. And also something that's really fun to research is supercontinents. Because I have a whole other video about this. Usually during a golden era, our continents come back together into becoming one continent. Like Lemuria was a giant island. And then the continents separated as our energy became more separate from one another. The continents separated. If you go far down this rabbit hole, you will find that we all know that already. It's not that mind-blowing to think, oh, it was one large continent that broke apart. You can see it. You can look at the map and see they're all little puzzle pieces that fit together. Obvious. But what will blow your mind in this rabbit hole is that they've proven that they come together and break apart and come together and break apart, and no one knows why. And no one knows, and it happens probably every these 24,000 years that they keep bringing up that number. So that's why, because golden eras are about unity, right? So Gaia knows when to do things. She knows when to shift her plates and all these things to bring stuff together, and she knows when to pull it apart. We just have a lot of beauty ahead. And once we get into that golden era, like I said, it's about 2,000 years, but it's not forever. Let's get back to the whole cult thing. Is our ascension at risk then? If they can prove through looking at the continents how many times they've done this, through reading however they do it, Wikipedia will tell you, they've proven that there is a precession cycle of golden ages to dark ages, and that it never stops. They can prove that the solar system moves through a photon belt of light when we hit those golden eras. You have nothing to worry about. But you can either go into your ascension gracefully, Like, ooh, okay, let me ease my ascension symptoms by doing the inner work and understanding the process and knowing what's going on and being, like fairly well read or um just like open to receiving the frequencies and the energy and being a part of the ascension, the wave of ascension, helping others and all of that. And that feels like a more graceful, gentle entry into your evolution. Or people can go kicking and screaming, which might happen to a lot of people because it will be worldwide, right? Now, if souls don't want to go through this, they will just choose to leave the planet. And that's okay. And we've seen that, like mass exits from Earth, like at certain times. And maybe that looks like natural disasters or war or different things of orchestrated events around sections of population where people are not wanting that for whatever reason. Their soul doesn't want to experience that. Okay, well, maybe they're on a different path and that's fine, right? But nothing can stop it if that's what you want, because nothing will stop the ascension from happening here on Earth, to the planet, to the animal kingdom, to the nature kingdom, and to the humans that choose to be here. Okay, so the ascension is not at risk. That doesn't mean there's not malevolent beings. I understand that. I'm just saying nothing's going to stop a solar system on its path, and nothing ever has. And Gaia is so extremely protected because she's a school. It's like this unbelievable resource. Because of this precession cycle, you get to choose when you want to, oh, I want to experience a descension path. Oh, I want to experience an ascension path. Your soul needs different things at different times. That's what makes Gaia a beautiful school and so protected. If you're here now, on Gaia right now, you are on an ascension path, or you wouldn't be here because she's on an ascension path. She's taken everybody with her, they're all her children. Like, how could she not, right? So anyway, I really, this is probably the longest video and I am so sorry, but this was just like something that is really passionate to me and really important to talk about. I know that there's probably other New Age cult beliefs out there, but these are some of the really big ones. That 144,000 things, that really grinds my gears because it just is so egoic. It is so much ego. It's insane. And the 5D thing, like, have we not really, like, I hope that you guys are with it enough to not buy into that bullshit. Don't try to go through some kind of a Stargate to 5D. What? Unless you're astral traveling and visiting timelines, fine. But I'm just saying 5D is not on another planet, okay? So don't buy into bullshit. And then the ascension being at risk, well, okay, like, try and stop our entire solar system's precession cycle. Like, it's scientific, it's astronomy, it can be proven. It's not going to happen. Like, you're fine. I promise you, you're fine. Okay, so I know that you're going to have comments and questions and all of that, so go ahead and load up the comment section and I will enjoy. But before you go getting into your typing mode, let's just remember that I said take what resonates and leave what doesn't. So if something doesn't resonate, you don't really need to comment. Okay, that's fine. Just don't take it. Just go ahead. You can actually watch things online that you don't agree with and just move on with your life. You don't actually have to comment, believe it or not. So enjoy that. And then everybody else, I'm sure the comment section will be very entertaining. So go enjoy. And if you want to support me for making this video, please go ahead and be like, hey, that was helpful. Or share this. This would actually be such a great one to share, because who's saying this right now? Like, who's not afraid to actually just say the truth and pull out the freaking dusty Bible? Like, let's be real. So go ahead and share this. That would be really helpful. Okay, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe for new videos every week. Make sure you're following me on Instagram. Totally different content happening over there. 50% of the seats, 5 seats are left inside of Weaver of Light. If you are ready to really step into your multidimensional healing powers as a starseed, come on in, and I will make sure, again, link in the description for Weaver of Light. Don't wait to save your seat because they're going to go fast. And then the last thing is, of course, before you go, please remember, listen to your heart and the quiet voice within, because you are so much more than the body you are in. I love you so much, beautiful starseed. Have a great night.